The unexpected talent. When I signed up to be the only human on a ship full of tentacle aliens, I expected a few things. The air would be damp, my crewmates would occupy unusual spaces, and I'd earn a reputation as the tall one who could reach high shelves without a ladder. These were all true, but I was surprised to find that my voice was considered a special talent. Meeting the captain, I greeted her with a phrase in her language, something I'd practiced during the trip. My pronunciation was probably terrible, but considering the language sounded like a mix of squeaks and flatulence, I thought it was a success. To my surprise, the captain's reaction was one of awe. Her rusty orange tentacles flailed in amusement as I attempted to keep a straight face. This wasn't the end of the surprises. Later, when I reported a mysterious sound from the hover engine by mimicking it, war followed by a screech, my crewmates were amazed. It was a trivial skill to me, but apparently, it was something extraordinary where they came from. I wished I could introduce them to a parrot. They would have been blown away. Despite the initial excitement, my vocal talent became a light-hearted curiosity among the crew. It was a source of jokes, pranks, and a remedy for boredom. However, during our final delivery run, my voice would prove to be more significant than anyone expected. We were transporting construction materials to a newly terraformed moon. The site was bustling with robots and a few organic overseers, all stressed out as they worked against the clock to prepare for incoming inhabitants. They had encountered a problem: a shortage of a specific type of welding rod. Thanks to us, they received their supplies on time, but another issue had arisen: the invasive plant mystery. The construction head, Tavi, who resembled an iridescent green beetle, looked uneasy. Her antennae twitched as she explained the situation. She suspected sabotage but couldn't spare her workers to search for the problem. There were traces of a particular plant known for its invasive nature, and she feared it had been placed nearby to cause trouble. Captain Romam, always keen to help for the right price, agreed to take on the task. As negotiations continued, I kept to myself, trying not to draw attention. I was the tallest among the crew, and bending down to whisper would be awkward. My crewmates, each with their quirks, were busy with their own observations. When the haggling was over, the captain signaled for us to follow. Tavi led us to a small spaceship, where she showed us a yellow leaf from the suspected plant. The smell was powerful and minty, almost like weaponized toothpaste. The crew's wrinkled faces mirrored my own discomfort. With directions from Tavi, we set off to search for the invasive plant. Our spaceship made quick work of the journey, landing us on a moon covered in purple and green plant life. We began our search among the moss and giant ferns. Despite our efforts, the yellowish plant remained elusive. The moon's landscape was a mix of natural rock pillars and newly terraformed elements. It was difficult to distinguish what was originally there and what was newly added. The search seemed endless, but our determination kept us moving. The unexpected discovery. As we continued our search, the crew's chatter became a background hum. Each member had their way of contributing. Some were excellent at observation, while others had a knack for humor. We made our way through the thick undergrowth, scanning for any signs of the yellow plant. Just as I was starting to lose hope, a sudden rustling in the bushes caught my attention. I signaled to the crew, and we approached the source of the noise. To my surprise, we found a small cluster of the yellow plants hidden among the larger foliage. It was a breakthrough, but we still needed to confirm that this was the source of the problem. We carefully gathered samples and took them back to our spaceship for analysis. The data confirmed our suspicions. The plant was indeed highly invasive and had been deliberately placed to cause disruption. We needed to act quickly to remove it before it could spread further. The team prepared for the removal process, and I could see the relief on Tavi's face as we reported our findings. It felt good to be part of a solution, especially one that would make a significant difference. The crew's spirits were lifted as we worked together to resolve the issue. The moon's secret. With the invasive plant issue under control, we turned our attention to the moon's other mysteries. The construction site was buzzing with activity, and our presence was a welcome relief to the stressed workers. They were eager to return to their tasks without worrying about further sabotage. As we explored the moon, we discovered that it had been designed to accommodate a wide range of habitats. There were biomes for various species, each carefully engineered to support different life forms. The complexity of the terraforming process was impressive, and it was clear that a lot of thought had gone into creating this environment. Among the interesting features, we found an ancient-looking structure partially buried in the moon's surface. It was a remnant of a previous civilization, possibly an early attempt at colonization, or an abandoned research outpost. The structure's appearance suggested it had been there for a long time, and its presence added a new layer of intrigue to our mission. We documented the site and reported our findings to the construction team. They were thrilled to learn about the discovery, and it sparked new ideas for their future projects. The moon was becoming more than just a construction site. It was turning into a treasure trove of history and potential. Uncovering the saboteur. As we continued our exploration, we began to piece together more information about the sabotage attempt. The invasive plants were just one part of a larger scheme. We found evidence suggesting that someone had been working behind the scenes to undermine the construction efforts. Our investigation led us to a group of individuals who had been acting suspiciously. They were known to have ties to a rival faction that would benefit from the moon's failure. Confronting them was risky, but it was necessary to prevent further disruptions. The encounter was tense, but with careful negotiation and a bit of diplomacy, we managed to get the information we needed. The saboteurs admitted to their actions and revealed their motives. It turned out they were trying to disrupt the project to create an opportunity for their own faction to gain control of the moon's resources. The final push. With the saboteurs dealt with and the invasive plants removed, we focused on ensuring that the construction site was secure. The workers, now free from interference, worked diligently to complete their tasks. The site was bustling with activity as the final preparations were made for the arrival of the inhabitants. The crew and I took on various roles to support the effort. We assisted with the final inspections, helped organize supplies, and ensured that everything was in place for the moon's grand opening. It was a collaborative effort, and everyone contributed to the successful completion of the project. As the day of the moon's official opening approached, there was a sense of accomplishment and anticipation in the air. The project had faced numerous challenges, but through teamwork and determination, we had overcome them. The moon was ready to welcome its new inhabitants, and it felt like a significant achievement for everyone involved. A new beginning. The moon's opening was a success. The inhabitants arrived, and the new environment was everything they had hoped for. The construction team received praise for their efforts, and the project was considered a triumph. For my crew and me, it was time to move on to new adventures. Our mission had been completed, and we were ready to return to our ship and explore the galaxy once more. The experiences we had gained and the friendships we had forged would remain with us as we continued our journey. As we set off, I reflected on the incredible journey we had been on. From the unexpected talent of my voice to the challenges we faced and overcame, it had been an adventure filled with growth and discovery. The galaxy was vast, and there were many more stories waiting to be told.